Hey guys, in this video I want to share my to-do system that made me significantly more efficient, reliable and successful in achieving what I set out to do, and I'm sure there will be ideas that will increase your productivity as well, so stay tuned. First to do for you is to hit the like button if you want to help me continue making these kinds of videos. It really doesn't take more. First, we need to adopt two principles that might look stressful at the beginning until you got used to them and follow them unconsciously, saving you a lot of stress, and that is exactly what we are trying to achieve here. Not becoming robots, but saving our energy for things that we actually care about. Let's even put on some jazz so our brain believes it's really easy and smooth. Principle number 1. Do it immediately. Most of the things coming up can actually be taken care of right away, and in some it's more stressful not to. An example that I found from my life: I'm coming home from work and have mail from my insurance. I need to send them my tax number and sign and mail it back to them. The obstacle now is to go upstairs and look for my tax receipt. This is an undisputable case of do it right now. There's literally no benefit in not doing so, because you will have to do it eventually, and it will be even more stressful because first you need to find this letter you just put somewhere, you need to read it again if you find it, and if not, you need to write them an email and the whole thing starts over. If you can't do it immediately because either impossible or taking too long, your second principle is schedule everything. You need to set a meeting with yourself. These really are your only two choices if you're trying to be more reliable, summed up in this cool graphic called the Eisenhower matrix. So if it is an urgent and important task, you need to do it right away. Then for the not urgent and important tasks, I suggest you make the distinction of whether the task takes under 5 minutes, then do it right away. If it takes more time, make a calendar entry right away, not later. Your brain will forget and the system will fail. Our brain is definitely capable of doing amazing things that even the most powerful computers aren't able to do, like sensing emotions in other people by looking at their face for just 1 second, or creating music and great movies like this one. But it is not good as a reliable organization system because it's fallible. Memories and thoughts fade, especially if you don't use them. I think of my memory as something like this. What is really important is that you reduce the friction of scheduling to a minimum, and the best way to do that is to use Siri. If you are on the run, just tell Siri, make an appointment tomorrow at 2 p.m. saying meet Bob. Telling yourself that you will take care of it later unfortunately isn't an option, because 50% of the time you will forget. It is also extremely freeing to not let it clutter your mind and feel that it is taken care of. To get back to the insurance case, one thing that will make your system a lot more efficient is to have all your files digitally. So after I got my tax number and filled out the form they sent me, I schedule a to-do for tomorrow to remind me to mail it, scan the letter, trash it, and I won't have to think about it anymore. I use the Microsoft Scan app and label each document with the keywords that I would type in if I quickly wanted to find a particular document. Of course, you don't want to be scrolling down your digital file system. Spotlight is your best friend here. That way you will have all your documents with you at all times and you will find them much faster. Now let's get into the 6 to-do lists that I use all the time. Let's start with the most important building block of my system. To-do list number 1, the calendar app. I don't love that I use it for to-dos, but I have to be practical here, and I found that I'm much more likely to complete them compared to when they are in a to-do list, mostly because I look into my calendar app all the time throughout the day. I put them in green so they clearly strike out. To reduce the friction of adding to-dos, I set this calendar to default, so whenever I add something quickly or via Siri, it will be a to-do. What helps as well is that I can easily schedule them to a time where I will be most likely to do them, such as work stuff in the morning or household stuff around 6. And if I don't fulfill a to-do, I will have to drag it to the next day, which is annoying, which incentivizes me to cross them from my list. Next up on number 2 is email. Yes, my inbox is a to-do list, both my personal and work email. This is actually much more helpful than I expected. The idea is that only emails remain in your inbox that need to be taken care of. Here in my case, for example, a newsletter that I didn't get to read yet, 2 packages that are ready for pickup, and my Kindle notes from the last book I read that I need to transfer into Notion. The rest will be either deleted or moved to archive. To do that, first you need to clean up. Put all your old emails into your archive folder. During the next couple of weeks when you check your mail, try to unsubscribe from all the email lists you've been deleting so consistently, or you open just to get rid of the red notification circle. They are actually doing harm, as they lead to something called notification fatigue, which makes you less likely to appropriately react to the information that you actually care about. Then the third to-do list is your internet browser. It is conveniently built into your browser in the form of tabs. No tabs are allowed to remain open except articles that you want to read or other things that need to be taken care of. Just close all your tabs and be diligent with leaving tabs open only if they help you continue on something that brings value to your life. To-do list number 4 is the save to watch later section on YouTube. Don't open new tabs which you plan to go back to at some point, or you will mess up our browser to-do list. It is just too messy. And the last and weirdly least significant to-do list is a to-do list. I use Minimalist. It's the only one I liked so far because the UI is really clean and it's super fast to create a to-do. I use this for to-dos that I just want to keep in the back of my head, like a dish that I ate in a restaurant that I want to cook, or a movie or documentary that I want to watch at some point. Each task name starts with a verb. I use keywords as create, send, do, prepare, call, clean, or make, so it's immediately clear to me what needs to be done. Now finally, one more thing that feels a bit silly, but it's gonna build a habit that you will benefit from in the long run. Set a recurrent event in your calendar where you make a virtual tour through all the different components of your to-do system. At the beginning, you will forget to check in regularly, so until this becomes second nature and to work well, I found that checking at the end of each day helped me a lot. So that's it. I hope you got some value out of my to-do system. In the end, it's about having more energy for the things that you actually care about and not having to worry about the things that you don't. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.